Most Americans don't keep their New Year's resolution, and that probably didn't change during the pandemic unless you listen closely to this video, as I'm going to share with you 4 amazing ways that great leaders changed their life and how you can apply them and change your life right now. Are you ready to move forward? Then let's flow. Welcome to this Dancing in Life podcast, and welcome back to my 30-day challenge. I'm Saje here with you on Triumphant Thursday. Over the course of the next several weeks, we're going to be focusing together on steps that you can take to become a better you. I'll be sharing stories of how everyday heroes dance with life and make the world a better place, and how they can find new hope after trials and tribulations. Everyone begins the new year with the best of intentions. But who keeps their resolutions? Very few of us. Today, we're going to look together at how you can stick to it. The big idea here is that once you set an intention for the year, you can plan how to put that intention into action. I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley, which some people may say it's a bit of an Asian bubble, but I loved it. There are these amazing, authentic Asian food. We have boba, we have cafes that open late where you get amazing, delicious food. And we also have the best foot massages for incredible value. Growing up, I'd always take my mom to get foot massages while having some yummy, sugary boba drink with little tapiocas that were chewy and tasty. It was our thing. And I remember this one time where I was feeling a bit conflicted because I had become really reacquainted with nature. I loved the outdoors growing up. I was an Eagle Scout and just loved camping and being outdoors. But I sort of lost that part of me when I got into a relationship, and I didn't even realize it. I kind of just gave it up. Anyhow, I started camping again, and I just fell in love with the outdoors all over again. Just being in nature, such a grounding energy. I love it so much that I was considering buying an RV. But my brother asked me a question, and he said, "How often would you really use this RV?" Because I was so busy growing my businesses, doing real estate investment. And I wondered myself if it would be wasteful if I didn't use it that often. Now, the problem that I had was I didn't know whether I should get an RV, and I didn't know if it would be wasteful. Now, at the time, maybe I didn't even know if I deserved an RV. Because people, when they set out an intention and they work hard, I believe that when people do that, when they set an intention, they work hard, they should be able to reap the result of their hard work. Now, when you set an intention and you plan for it, you can achieve it. Every time I wondered if I should buy this RV. I wondered if my brother was thinking that whether or not I was going to be wasteful. So one of the times that I was getting a massage, I was chatting with a masseuse, and I had an appointment. But for one reason or another, the person canceled. The masseuse canceled. So the owner, Lily, was helping me out. And to my surprise, she was like this petite woman who was incredibly strong, was able to work through the knots that I had in my back. And I was asking her for some advice. So Lily had shared a story with me, how when she first moved to America, she barely had $100 in her pocket. And she shared a story where she was walking and she saw this car of her dreams just appear out of nowhere. It was a big red Hummer. And she shared with me how she moved from China years ago, like 25 years ago. And when she saw this car, she caught a glimpse, and she just immediately was enthralled and just memorized by it. She fell in love with this Hummer. And so she shared that she made a promise to herself that she would one day have her own red Hummer. Now, over the course, She shared over the course of those 25 years, she worked as a masseuse, saving every bit of money. And she saved up enough money. After 20 years of saving, she would eventually open her own massage store. And she finally did it. After 20 years, she opened her store and her business started to grow and grow due to her dedication to great customer service and a customer-first approach. She had some good days and she had some tough days. And she had some days where she shared that she didn't know if she was going to be able to fulfill her dream of being a business owner and one day having her Hummer. The fear of does she deserve this or not? Till one day, she finally saved up enough money and she did it. And you could tell how proud she was of her Hummer. She mentioned that she only drives it once or twice a month. And mostly, it sits in her garage. And she was just brimming with happiness and joy and proudness. You see, her big red Hummer, with all 5'1" of her, represented the American dream that she had worked so many years for and worked so hard. I was so inspired by Lily's dream of realizing her dream of buying something that she desires and wants and set a plan. I set a plan into action and I got my RV. And that first night that I laid there on my bed, I laughed out loud and I just screamed, yes! Because it had become my emotional home. A default place that no matter what happens, I can travel around, reconnect with nature, and be able to live happily. Now, I've taken trips around the U.S. happily in my RV, from going up to Portland, down to San Diego, and yes, even to Nevada. Lily may have only driven her Hummer once or twice a month, but she was a shining example of what the American dream is possible and what the American dream stands for. That day, her story inspired me. That note, if you set an intention and you're willing to work hard, you can get what you deserve. Setting a resolution is the fun part for the beginning of it. The hard part starts once the year gets going and when life becomes busy. Most New Year's resolutions fail by February. Now, the secret to creating resolutions that will last is creating plans with intention. That means ensuring that your plans are aligned with your big picture goals. There's no point in adding wake up an hour earlier to your to-do list. For example, if you don't have clear intentions for what you will spend that hour doing, here are some suggestions. Pause and reflect. All too often, we go from one year to another, from one set of goals to another, with little regard to what we actually accomplished. Not only does this stifle our motivation to achieve our goals, it can prohibit us from seeing what we have already accomplished. A lot can happen in a year, as we've all seen, having gone through one of the most tumultuous years ever. So it's important to spend some time to pause and reflect on the year that you've had. What stands out for you the most? What areas were the most difficult? Which ones were the most rewarding? And what did you learn from these challenges? What accomplishments are you most proud of? What are some of your best moments, your worst ones? In a way, much of what happens throughout the year helps us shape what will happen in the next. It's important to be able to accept the year for what it was and learn. When there are lessons to be learned, forgive and move forward and celebrate achievements. This pushes you forward. Redefine your goals. It's important to take some time to ensure that any goals that you've had, that you set in the past, are still relevant. Otherwise, goals are, if they're not relevant anymore, then they're not relevant. Some things, such as spending more time with friends, you want to carry that over, while other things may simply be better outsourced even scratched off the list. You should also know to take some time to question your intentions behind your goals. Instead of just listing out blanket goals, write out why you want to accomplish the goal in question. What will you achieve from it? By giving yourself intention, you will also give yourself motivation and drive to strive for it. How about setting yourself up for success? Sticking with goals that can be tough, even if we start out with the best of intentions. So take some steps to make things a little bit easier for yourself. This means getting the tools that you need to achieve your goals. For example, a new pair of running shoes if you like to start jogging. It could also mean ensuring that you break your big picture goals into small, doable steps and jotting these down on your planner. How about keeping your schedule realistic by leaving white space in between tasks and not loading yourself up with 1,000,001 things to do? It's time to take our powerful flow action to get you moving forward now. Here are the steps for today's action. Today's action is called What's Your Vision? Step 1, take a picture of a dream. Step 2, share it on social media with the tag My Dream. And step 3, tag 2 other friends and ask them to take and share a picture of their dream. It can be a car, a house, a home, a job, whatever it is your dream that you want to share it. Because there's power in sharing and you inspire those around you to share with you. The hope is that once you set an intention for the year, you can plan how to put that intention into action. Thanks for being with me on Dancing in Life and for this 30-day challenge. I'm Sage Flo, and I look forward to spending time with you tomorrow for Flow Gives Friday, when we look together at how positive mental attitude creates an atmosphere of positivity around you, which can lead to improvement. And if you like what you find in this series, you'll definitely want to check out my free 7-day challenge, which is available in the description below that you can go check out now. And until then, flow on.